My name is Carolina, and I learned the hard way that not every grandmother has her granddaughter's best interests at heart. Mommy, can I go to Grandma Patricia's house this weekend? My 6-year-old daughter Emma asked, tugging at my sleeve. Of course, sweetie, I said, smiling at her excitement. Grandma loves spending time with you. My mother-in-law Patricia had seemed like a blessing when Emma was born. She volunteered to babysit, took Emma on outings, and constantly told me what a wonderful mother I was. Carolina, you work so hard, Patricia would say during her visits. Let me help more. Emma can stay with me whenever you need a break. That's so generous of you, I'd reply. I really appreciate it. My husband David was thrilled his mother was so involved. Mom's always wanted to be a hands-on grandmother, he told me. This means everything to her. But 3 months ago, everything changed when I found Patricia's journal. I'd gone to her house to pick up Emma early because of a canceled work meeting. Patricia, I called, letting myself in with the key she'd given me for emergencies. No answer. I heard Emma laughing in the backyard. Walking through Patricia's bedroom to reach the back door, I noticed a leather notebook on her nightstand, open to a page with my name at the top. My hands shook as I read, Documentation of Carolina's neglect. Day 47. Left Emma with me again. Child arrived in wrinkled clothes. Carolina clearly too focused on career. Emma deserves better. She deserves me. What the hell? I whispered, flipping back through pages of similar entries. Day 23. Emma said Mommy was too tired to read her a bedtime story. Emotional neglect. Day 35. Overheard Carolina yelling at Emma about spilled juice. Verbal abuse. Day 41. Emma had a small bruise on her knee from playground. Carolina didn't even notice. Physical neglect. Every innocent moment, every normal parenting situation twisted into evidence of my supposed failures. I photographed every page with my phone, my heart pounding. At the back of the journal, I found a business card for a family attorney specializing in grandparents' rights. There was a sticky note attached. Consultation scheduled for next week. Discussed custody petition. Need more documentation of mother's unfitness. Attorney confident we have a strong case. I nearly dropped the notebook. Patricia wasn't just criticizing me. She was building a legal case to take my daughter away. Carolina! Patricia's voice came from downstairs. I didn't know you were here! I quickly put the journal back and walked downstairs, my face neutral despite my racing heart. Meeting got canceled. I came to get Emma early. Oh well, we were having such a lovely time, Patricia said, her smile not reaching her eyes. Emma, honey, your mother's here. Emma ran inside, grass-stained and happy. Grandma taught me a new game. That's wonderful, baby, I said, taking her hand. Say thank you to Grandma. Thank you, Grandma Patricia. Any time, my precious girl, Patricia said, kissing Emma's forehead. Then she looked at me with something cold in her eyes. You know, Carolina, Emma told me you've been working late a lot. That must be so hard on her. I forced a smile. We're doing just fine. Say goodbye, Emma. As I drove home, Emma chatted about her day while my mind raced. Patricia had been documenting me for 47 days. 47 days of gathering twisted evidence to paint me as an unfit mother. This woman had been in my home around my daughter, smiling to my face while plotting to destroy my family. But she'd made one critical mistake. She didn't know I'd found her journal, and now it was my turn to gather evidence. That night after Emma was asleep, I showed David the photos. This can't be real, he said, scrolling through the images on my phone. My mother wouldn't... Read it, David, I interrupted. She's building a case for grandparents' rights. She wants to take Emma from us. His face went pale. The attorney consultation is next week, I finished. She's serious about this. But why? David asked, sinking onto the couch. What did we do? I think she's always resented me, I said quietly. Remember how she reacted when we got engaged? She said you were too young, that I was rushing you into marriage. She got over that, David protested weakly. Did she, or did she just go underground? I pulled up more photos. Look at these entries. She's been planning this for months, maybe longer. David's hands clenched into fists. What do? We fight back, I said firmly, but we do it smart. Tomorrow, I'm calling a family attorney. The next morning, I met with Sarah Mitchell, a family law specialist my friend Jessica had recommended. This is serious, Sarah said after reviewing my photos. Grandparents' rights laws vary by state, but false allegations of neglect or abuse can be grounds for a custody petition. Can she actually win? I asked, fear tightening my chest. Not if we act first, Sarah replied. I need you to document everything. Every interaction with Patricia, every text message, every phone call. Install security cameras in your home. Keep detailed records of Emma's care, doctor visits, school attendance, activities. I feel like I'm going crazy, I admitted. This woman used to braid Emma's hair and bake cookies with her. Manipulators are often charming, Sarah said gently. That's how they operate. But we're going to protect your family. First, I'm sending Patricia a cease and desist letter. She needs to know you're aware of her plans. Won't that just make her angry? David asked. He'd insisted on coming to the meeting. Possibly, Sarah acknowledged. But it also puts her on notice that you're not going to be passive victims. She thought she could build her case in secret. Now she'll know she's been caught. I called Jessica that evening. Can you believe this? I asked. Patricia's been in my house playing grandmother while documenting everything to use against me. That's psychotic, Jessica said bluntly. What did your lawyer say? To document everything and prepare for a fight, she's sending a cease and desist letter. Good, Jessica said firmly. You need to protect Emma. Who knows what Patricia's been telling her? That thought had been haunting me. Do you think she's been manipulating Emma, trying to turn her against me? I think you need to find out, Jessica replied. Gently, but you need to know. That night I sat with Emma at bedtime. Sweetheart, I want to ask you something. Does Grandma Patricia ever say things about Mommy when you're alone together? Emma looked confused. Like what? Like, does she ask if Mommy takes good care of you, or if you're happy at home? Emma nodded slowly. She asks if you read me stories every night, and if you make me healthy dinners. I told her you do. My stomach churned. What else does she ask about? If Daddy ever yells, if you ever leave me alone, if I'm scared at home? Emma's little face scrunched up. I told her no because you're the best mommy. Was that wrong? No, baby, I said, hugging her tight. You told the truth. That's never wrong. But inside, I was seething. Patricia had been interrogating my 6-year-old, fishing for ammunition. Sarah needs to know about this, I told David after Emma was asleep. I can't believe my own mother. David's voice broke. I keep thinking I'll wake up and this will be a nightmare. It's real, I said, taking his hand. But we're going to end it. Together. The next week, Sarah sent the cease and desist letter. Patricia's response came within hours, not to us, but to David's phone. How dare you let that woman poison you against me, the text read. I'm only trying to protect my granddaughter from Carolina's neglect. You'll regret this. David showed me the message with shaking hands. She's not even denying it. Forward it to Sarah, I said. More evidence. 2 days later, Patricia showed up at our house unannounced. I want to see my granddaughter, she demanded when David answered the door. I stood behind him, phone recording. Mom, you received the cease and desist letter, David said firmly. You need to leave. You're keeping me from Emma because of her lies. Patricia pointed at me. I know what you're really like, Carolina. I've documented everything. We know about your documentation, I said calmly. We know about your attorney consultation. We know you've been building a false case against me. Patricia's face went red. False? You're never home. Emma deserves a mother who puts her first. I work part-time from home, I replied, my voice steady. Emma is in kindergarten 5 days a week. When exactly am I neglecting her? The wrinkled clothes, the missed bedtime stories, the bruises. Patricia was practically screaming now. The wrinkled clothes were play clothes for the park, I said. The missed bedtime story was one night when Emma fell asleep early after swimming, and the bruise was from falling off a swing, which I immediately treated and monitored, all normal childhood experiences that you twisted into abuse. I have proof, Patricia shrieked. So do we, Sarah said, stepping onto the porch. David had texted her when Patricia arrived. I'm Mrs. Martinez's attorney, and we have copies of your journal, your attorney's business card, your text messages, and recordings of you interrogating Emma about her home life. Patricia's eyes widened. You had no right to go through my things. You left your journal open on your nightstand, I said, in plain view, and everything I photographed is now evidence of your malicious intent to file a fraudulent custody petition. Fraudulent? Patricia sputtered. I'm protecting my granddaughter. From what? David demanded. From a mother who loves her? From a stable, happy home? Or are you trying to replace Carolina because you never approved of her? You don't understand, Patricia started. We understand perfectly, Sarah interrupted. You've been documenting normal parenting moments and mischaracterizing them as neglect. You've been interrogating a 6-year-old child to gather information. You've consulted with an attorney about filing for custody. All of this constitutes harassment and potentially attempted parental alienation. I want what's best for Emma, Patricia insisted. Then you'll cease all contact, Sarah said firmly. If you attempt to file any petition, we will present evidence of your malicious intent. We will show the court your journal entries twisting innocent moments into false allegations. We will demonstrate that your goal isn't Emma's welfare, it's control. You can't keep me from my granddaughter. Patricia looked at David desperately. David, please. You tried to take my daughter away, Mom, David said, his voice breaking. You lied about my wife. You manipulated Emma. How can I trust you now? Patricia's face crumpled. I wanted to be important to her. I wanted to matter. You could have been, I said quietly. But you chose manipulation instead of love. You chose to try to destroy our family instead of being part of it. Mrs. Hernandez, Sarah said formally, if you contact this family again, we will file for a restraining order. If you attempt to see Emma without permission, we will involve the police. If you file any petition related to custody or visitation, we will pursue legal action for harassment and defamation. Do you understand? Patricia looked at each of us, tears streaming down her face. This isn't over. Yes, it is, David said firmly. Goodbye, Mom. We watched her leave, and I finally released the breath I'd been holding. She's going to try something else, I said. Sarah nodded. Probably, but now we're prepared. Patricia did try something else. She posted on social media claiming we were alienating her from her granddaughter, painting herself as a victim of a cruel daughter-in-law. But we were ready. Sarah sent copies of Patricia's journal entries to everyone Patricia had contacted, along with a formal statement explaining the situation. The truth spread faster than Patricia's lies. Her friends stopped calling. Her book club asked her to leave. Even her own sister reached out to apologize to us. I had no idea Patricia was capable of this, David's aunt told us. That journal, it's disturbing. I'm so sorry. When Patricia attempted to show up at Emma's school, we'd already alerted the administration and filed a formal no-contact order. The police were called and Patricia was escorted off the premises with a trespassing warning. This could escalate to criminal charges if she continues, the officer told us. We take violations of no-contact orders seriously, especially involving children. Patricia finally backed down after her attorney, the one she'd consulted about grandparents' rights, sent her a letter withdrawing from any potential case and warning her that pursuing false allegations could result in legal consequences for her. Sarah also sent a formal demand for Patricia to surrender all documentation she'd gathered about our family, with the threat of a lawsuit if any of it was ever used or distributed. Patricia complied. We received a package containing her journal, photos, and notes. Sarah locked it all away as evidence just in case. Emma asked about Grandma Patricia a few times at first. Why doesn't she visit anymore? Sometimes people we love make choices that hurt us, I explained gently. Grandma made some bad choices, and now we need to keep our distance to stay safe. Did she do something mean? Yes, baby, but you're safe, and Mommy and Daddy will always protect you. Emma accepted this with the resilience of childhood. Within weeks, she stopped asking. David struggled more. She's still my mother, he said one night, months later. Part of me wants to forgive her. Forgiveness is about you, not her, I replied. But forgiveness doesn't mean letting her back into our lives. She showed us who she really is. A woman who would destroy her son's family to get what she wanted, David said bitterly. I keep thinking about all those times she smiled at us while plotting behind our backs. We're stronger now, I said, taking his hand, and Emma is safe. That's what matters. A year later, our family is thriving. Emma is happy and healthy. David and I are closer than ever, and Patricia is completely out of our lives. I don't regret exposing her plot. I don't regret the legal action, and I don't regret cutting her off permanently. Some people say I should give her another chance, that family is important, that grandparents deserve relationships with their grandchildren. But those people didn't read her journal. They didn't see the cold calculation in her eyes as she twisted my love for my daughter into evidence of neglect. They didn't watch her interrogate a 6-year-old to gather ammunition. Patricia didn't make a mistake. She made a choice, dozens of calculated choices over months of planning. And when caught, she didn't apologize or show remorse. She just got angry that her scheme failed. That's not someone who deserves access to my child. I sleep well at night knowing Emma is protected from someone who would use her as a pawn. I don't wonder if I did the right thing. I know I did. Have you ever trusted someone with your child only to discover they had ulterior motives? What would you have done in my situation? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.